Good morning, everybody. We're in our new location here. I hope you are enjoying what we're really starting to finally come up with. It's starting to come together. We've enjoyed the location where we started at. We had such a great time there. Then we expanded to growing in this location. We were upstairs. Now we're in our own studio. It's starting to come together and transform around us. We've got our wheel back, which is our focus for the year, and we've got a lot more we're going to be doing here, but we're going to be in this setup for a little while, I believe. So if you're ever interested in joining us live, feel free to come on down and join us live. We actually record these on Wednesday evenings, and then we broadcast them on Sunday mornings for you. Why do I have these in my hand? Well, in our new location, we have a library and a stones gallery. Library books you can check out to borrow, and stones you can purchase if you'd like. Our library consists of many things, from angel books to women empowerment books. We even have fiction books like some of the Harry Potter series and some other fun things like that, and so much more. Some things on self-hypnosis, developing your psychic abilities, many other wonderful things. And our stones gallery, we have, these are some of my favorite things that we have right now in stock. These are actually made in Morocco. So if you come on down to the gallery, I'll give you a whole bunch of more info on these. It's really cool. Fabulous massage tools. This can actually work for almost acupuncture. It's really an acupressure. You can do a lot of things. I'll show you all of those if you're interested in purchasing them. These are handcrafted by the young men in Morocco. So we have these, they're made of selenite for $5, and we have a whole lot of other things in our stones gallery as well, from chakra stones to many other working crystals and beautiful crystals if you just want to have them on display at your house. Now, I'd also like to remind you, please, to like our Facebook page. If you're watching this on my personal page, I appreciate you very much, and I'd really appreciate it if you would go ahead and click on over to the Earth and Sky Center page on YouTube and on Facebook. So whichever of those you prefer, or do both. We'd love that. It helps us a lot when you give us a like on the YouTube channel, because that's where we're working on really expanding a lot more. And when you like us on Facebook, then you are apprised of various content. So our Monday videos, our Wednesday videos, eventually we're going to be doing Tea with DNA on Tuesdays. So that might end up starting closer to winter, but we'll be getting that going, and that you will only be seeing if you're on our Facebook page. Now, if you join us on YouTube and you hit the little bell button that's right next to the subscribe button, after you subscribe, hit the bell button, and then you'll be notified of our services a little bit sooner than everybody else. So if you want to be a VIP person and get those early announcements, then please go ahead and hit that bell notification, and I really appreciate it. So on today's Life Talk, we have a lot to cover right now. I'm hoping you are all doing well. I am imagining you might be feeling a little bit of extra energy, a little bit of turmoil, maybe a little bit of just extra in your life right now. Are you feeling maybe more stressed, maybe more frustrated, maybe more confused, a little quicker on the temper, or just a little bit overwhelmed, like everything is coming so fast right now, one thing after another, and why are people acting like this? Why are they talking like this? Why are they so hot-tempered? Why are they reacting the way they are suddenly? Well, we are right now in a rare double eclipse portal. So it's an interesting event, and it doesn't happen very often. Well, the full solar eclipse, this is the first time in 99 years that it's happened across the US, so you can imagine the energies that is stirring. And then on top of that, we just had a full lunar eclipse, a full moon lunar eclipse on August 7th. And so those energies are coming in at us right now. And for those of you who aren't so sure, how do the planets influence our energies? How does astrology influence our lives? If you're not sure about how that happens, scientifically, how does that happen? How does that work? Well, when you think about it, we're all made of water. A very high percentage of our bodies are made of water. And water is impacted so greatly by the moon. If you question that, all you have to do is go out and look at the ocean, and you'll see that as the tides come in and how the moon's influence impacts that. And that same impact, that same turmoil, and that the big tides that come up within the ocean, well, it's stirring that up within our bodies all the time. The same current, that same magnetism, that same current that's stirred up within the ocean gets stirred up within us, because I think it's like 85% water. I'm not sure the exact percentage, but it's a very high percentage of our bodies that are water. And so because of that, we are under a lot of influence from the moon and her cycles, and as she waxes and wanes, and then the eclipse adds a whole nother level on top of that. And so this specific lunar eclipse is in Aquarius, and the solar eclipse is in Leo. And you can know that because you look at what sign it's in. So, just as you have your birth sign, so people that are born, actually that's not true with the moon. The moon is its own, in its own orbit with its sign. So, but the sun right now is in the constellation, or the zodiac of Leo. See, I think it's those impacts that are just making me a little wonky right now. I'm blaming it on that, at least. And so anytime there is an eclipse, it's basically an object in the sky that moves across and shadows another object in the sky. And so when something comes across and it's creating a shadow for us, what's the best thing to do? Usually it's to turn inward, and it's to look within and to do some self-exploration, and to go within and to plan. Just as when we are in winter, we've talked a lot about the wheel of the year, and when we're in winter, that's when we're in a darker phase. The nights are longer, the days are shorter. We go into our planning phase. Now, it's the same thing with the lunar eclipse and the solar eclipse, although that's a shorter season, whereas, winter is an entire season that lasts a few months, and then we emerge with the sunlight, and we're out and about, and we're doing our big things in the sunlight. In the shadows, in the night, when the days are short and the nights are long, we're doing our planning. And so that's a really good rule to go by when there is an eclipse in the air as well. So normally, when there's an eclipse, you want to plan on that about 2 or 3 days before and after the eclipse. And currently, because we have these two that are so close together, we have the full moon eclipse on August 7th, and then we have the solar eclipse on August 21st, which is also a new moon. So then you're completing that cycle, or you're midway through the cycle of the moon, because you're going from full to new on both of those having eclipses. It's really expanded through this whole time frame, this whole couple of weeks that this is going on. And you'll probably, if you work in a hospital, or if you work in a police in field, or any of those industries where you notice all the time that if there's a full moon, you notice there's an increase in your clientele. The hospital emergency rooms get overflowing typically on the full moons, and same thing with the police calls. The scanners just go off the radar with all of these very interesting and unusual calls typically that happen during the full moon. Well, you're going to see that through this entire couple of weeks here. So don't let yourself get enmeshed in that, and instead come within and do some inner planning and do some inner work. Now, specifically with the Aquarius full moon, we're going to start a little bit more with the full moon. So in Aquarius, this is a good time to really focus on releasing negativity, releasing any toxic beliefs. The Aquarius sign is an intellect sign, it's an air sign, and so you're going to want to really focus on what you can let go of that is in your mind, because it's going to impact the mind the most. The Aquarius traits in general are Aquarius people tend to be very truthful, very affectionate, imaginative. Aquarius often is fighting for causes. You hear all, the 70s songs that talk about the age of Aquarius and how we're fighting for the causes, and we have humanitarian rights, and we're caring and intellectual. Aquarius tends to be very good listeners as well. Now on the flip side of that, Aquarius is negative traits, because we always have positive and negative that complement each other. It's that yin and yang, the balance in life. And so the Aquarius on the flip side tends to be unpredictable, a bit detached, unfocused, temperamental. And so these are things you're going to want to watch for during this sign. And because it's an intellectual sign, you're going to really want to focus on what belief systems do you have? What negative thoughts do you have? What can you let go of? Because it's a shadow over the moon, then what can you let go of? You want to release, just as we go into winter, again, that darker time. And so as we're heading into winter, you think about, what can I let go of? What can I release? What do I want to plan for? And then you start releasing it. And as you release it, it creates space so you can bring good things in. And so you can bring in what you want in your life. And so as you're releasing that, you're releasing any negative thoughts, anything that's holding you back. If you have any types of addictions, this is a really good time to go within, see what the root cause of those addictions are within you, and determine how you can let that go. And you can actually focus in on that within yourself. Try and find that root cause. This season will also be very big on potentially bringing up past hurts, bringing up past trauma, bringing up things that you've buried deeper in your mind. And so as it brings it up, don't just bury it again, but deal with it instead. Take a look at it. Don't be afraid of it. When you look at that in the mirror, when you look at what those negative traits are, or what those fears are, or what those past hurts are, and you address it, then you can use the solar eclipse, which is in the Leo constellation, and you can pull up that courage from Leo. And so you can look at those things that have you afraid or scared or feeling hurt from the past, and you can take a good strong look at that and know that the solar eclipse is bringing in bravery and courage and valor, and you can use that strength within yourself. See yourself as the lion, see yourself as brave, see yourself as royalty, and know that you can overcome it. And when you look deep and hard at it, you can recognize yourself in it, and you can recognize how to separate yourself from the hurt and the pain. And when you're not just trying to overlook it or ignore it or bury it, then you can actually take a look at it and not be afraid, and you can address it, separate yourself from it, bring in that bravery, overcome it, and then you will be it's such a better place in life because of it. You will be able to free yourself from those burdens, and you will be able to feel your strength and feel empowered. So it's so auspicious and wonderful that the lunar eclipse happens first, where we're releasing this negativity and these burdens, and then we go to the solar eclipse. Now again, a solar eclipse is the same thing. It's that shadow in the sky. So you're wanting to go in and take a look and figure out what is within you. And within the Leo, it's just wonderful because Leo is perfect for its bravery. Leo is the 5th sign of the zodiac. It's ruled by the sun, which is really interesting, ruled by the sun, and it's a solar eclipse, so that adds even more power to this and even more strength, Leo trait, to this. Leo tends to be very brave, very active, action-oriented, always on the go, busy, driven. I can't read my writing, but very royal. They love the limelight, and they're very generous typically. And so all of those traits are things that you can draw into yourself. Now on the flip side of that, the Leo can also be very quick to have a temper. They can tend to be a little bit self-centered sometimes. And you think about the heat of the sun. In the summer, people in general tend to be more quick-tempered because that heat flares up within us. And so it's the same thing with the sun signs. They can tend to be towards that a little bit. Both of these signs have that ability for quick temper. So please watch that with yourself during this time frame. And if you're around somebody and they tend to be very quick-tempered, or you encounter road rage, or it's a coworker or something, and they're just snapping at you, and you just can't figure out why, then it very likely could be the eclipse influencing them. So don't take it personally. Maybe give them a pass on it. Take a breath, walk away, release that from them, and don't take it into yourself either, especially all of you out there who are empathic and very sensitive. And so somebody snaps at you or seems angry with you and you take that in, don't take it in, especially during this time period, because people are going to be like that right now. And more importantly, work on yourself so that you are not one of those people who is impacting other people in that way, because everybody's going to be a little more heightened on their senses, a little bit more sensitive and feeling the emotions of other people. Even those who don't regularly feel that are going to be a bit more sensitive to that. So keeping that in mind, and you can really direct how you are going to be by looking internally. So take this time to look within, figure out what you can release, what judgments can you release, what resentments can you release, what fear, anger, hostility can you release, what have you been holding from childhood or from an adult, being a young adult, or from a past job, or from an ex-spouse, or anything, or current people in your life. What are you holding on to? But really look deeply at those things from long ago that are still having an influence on you, and this is the perfect time to release those. Take that bravery and that courage from Leo and know that you can face it. It's not like it's going to change it. The fact of you looking at it, looking at yourself clearly in the mirror, seeing everything that's in there, it's not like there are ugly demons of yourself that are going to pop out that aren't there anyway. But when you take a look at it and you see yourself for who you are, and you see all of the calico plate of all the traits that are within you, and all of the good things and all of the bad things and the hurts, and and not even labeling them as good and bad, but noticing how they feel, taking a deep good look at them and realizing what you can let go of, what weight can you shed off of yourself during this time period, and use this time because it can be very, very transformative. This is the time to really achieve true transformation within yourself. And it just has, an eclipse has a really strong pull to be mindful of your thoughts, words, and actions, because as I said, it can be very sensitive and very trying for everybody. We're all going through this together right now. So understanding, recognizing that that's what's going on in other people when they're unexpectedly snapping at you, and recognizing that when you feel that rising within yourself, when you feel that little bit of temper, or you feel like you're not taking the time to be patient or explain things, when you feel that rising up within yourself, instead take a breath, maybe excuse yourself for a second, or just take a breath and pause for a minute and let that go. Release that temper, release that heat off of you from the solar eclipse, and then go back into it as who you are, beautiful, brilliant, shining star. And so just being mindful of that. Also during this time, digestion is typically impacted whenever there's an eclipse. And so I hadn't actually thought about that. And then in looking back, because we've had just a few days since we had the lunar eclipse, and we were out with several friends, and several of our friends had actually, about half of them, had some digestion issues after we had eaten that night. And so it's just interesting because it can impact digestion. So be mindful of that, especially the day of the eclipse. So the next one coming up, obviously we're right in between the two right now. You might want to be mindful of eating a little bit better during this entire set of a couple of weeks. But especially on August 21st, be very careful. You might want to focus on eating lightly. They've actually found that animals and birds quite naturally tend to eat very lightly. Often animals and birds don't eat on an eclipse. They've noticed. They tend to sleep more, which is also very interesting because birds and animals are very in tune with the natural rhythms of the planet, and they just quite often will either eat less or they won't eat, and they'll sleep more during the eclipses. So it might be wise for you as a way to tune in to your own body and to your own spirit and soul and the rhythms of Mom Gaia by just limiting your eating, meditating more, chanting more. If you praying, whatever resonates with you that brings you up on a spiritual level where you feel more comfortable, and you are just resonating with that higher frequency. So doing all of those things is really, really wonderful during this time. Aquarius is also the 11th astrological sign, and so that makes this lunar eclipse powerful in another way, because the 11 is one of the mastery numbers. And so we have in numerology, there's 1 through 9, 11, 22, and 33 are the master numbers. And so because of that mastery number, it's bringing an even higher vibration frequency to the lunar eclipse, which can add another level of impact to it. It's the last of the air signs, which makes it more of a mastery of the intellect sign. So again, it's very, very good time to let go of any addictions that you have. If you're obsessive compulsive, this is a good time to look at how you can lessen and how you can let that go. If you have any other, food addictions or drug or alcohol addictions, any of those things, it's a very good time to look at that and be able to let those go. And the Leo is the 5th sign, and the number 5 is one of those that is starting to get towards responsibility. It's one of the middle numbers, so it's where Leos are such hard workers because they're long past the start of a project, and yet they're not even close to where the ending of a project is. And so it's right in the middle, that heat of activity. And so the sun eclipse is going to be bringing in that energy of that very active energy. And so if you feel like you have a lot of pressure on you, a lot of things on you, just know that you can take them one by one, piece by piece, and maybe even plan to relax on the 21st. Maybe you can get that day off of work and you can enjoy some of the solar eclipse activities. Go to the planetarium and check out some of the things that they're doing there. Take some time to sleep a little bit longer. Maybe take a nap on the solar eclipse day too, and take time to meditate. Definitely take time to meditate. And so figure out what it is that you want to do, where you can look within yourself and use this time, this very, very powerful, very rare opportunity, especially for those in the US where we're feeling the heat of all of that activity of the solar eclipse passing right over us. And take this time to really use the energy of the universe on your side to achieve the transformation that you want in your life and excel to the best of your capability. You have all of my confidence in you, and the universe's confidence in you as well. Know that you can always call out to your angels, your guides, and your ascended masters for help during this journey as well. Maybe write a list of what it is that you would like to transform. Write a list of what you would like to let go of, and work on bringing that in. I would also recommend not starting any big projects during this time unless it's inner work, unless it's something, spiritually based, something that's transformative within yourself. Those are the things to start. This is not the time to start a new business venture or expanding on, any other big projects like that. Don't, start those big projects. Work on that inner journey through the 21st and then a couple days after that. So until about August 23rd. And with that, I will let you go. I hope you have a wonderful rare double eclipse portal season. And please remember to like our Facebook page. Please like our YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I also did want to mention that I do need to credit some of this information to numerologist.com. They have a wonderful resource of information there. So I did some of my research on there for this. And we will be doing a numerology class soon too. So if you're interested in that, that will be coming up this fall. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you so much. Namaste.